Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing, and I just wanted to show you bird journal progress and what it looks like. Very often in projects, on videos, they're shown to be very linear, everything comes together great, it's super organized, and I like to show you how I really work. This is my table of bird journal stuff. This is giant progress. You can see parts of the table. It's thinned way down. Yesterday I worked on this a bunch. I had areas sorted before that were for each journal. Now I have the third journal sewed together. I don't have anything really spectacular done in it except the pockets sewed down. That's it at this point. And then I went through the table and started sorting. Sorry about that weird sound. That's my roommate. Hey, buddy. Can we wait? Can we do that after the video? Good. Let's leave it. Yeah, he likes to make weird sounds in the background. So I have the 3 bird journals, and then these 2 I've been tucking items in that go with them. And for the most part, if I made 3 items, I tried to just tuck one in as I went. Then this whole bin is stuff I think I'm done with, and I have all of my scraps of paper right here. I haven't been keeping them separate by journal anymore. A bunch of napkins, but then I have some in there I want to use. Stamps, just all kinds of stuff that I think I have used bits of and I'm done with. Sort of the same here for this pile, but it has pockets and note paper in it that I might want. Tabs, I might use those on all of them. These are things that I had prepped in a prior video ready to go in journal, and they're just waiting for the perfect pocket. A whole bunch of loose, tiny embellishments and die cuts that could still go on something, just as I see things together. Then this mess, I do this a lot when I make journals. This is stuff I really want to try to use. I have a piece of fabric with some birds, and I thought that would look lovely in this one. It might be a fun little page somewhere. I have the embossing folder with the hummingbirds. I want to use this bird. There's a bird on here I want to use. I don't think I've taken this stamp set out of the package. Mary gave me these gold labels in a de-stash of hers that she was kind enough to share. These would be really nice on the background for a cluster or to stamp a sentiment, so I put them in here. So anyway, it's just full of things that either were gifts or are bird specific, and I thought would be great. So I'll focus on using those first. And then this is the same kind of stuff, missorted. Oh, this is ready to use. I want to put this over here. But some of these are larger items, some are small, so I just have to work them together on layers. And for the most part, the table is all birds. It's sorted. I see a bobbin in it. I'm not sure why. And I found this really cute section that I had prepped for a journal somewhere. It had the pocket and the envelope, and I forgot to sew it into something. So that was kind of a bummer, but I don't think I'll take one apart and add it. I think I'll just move on. So I'm going to pull up my chair. I have my bottle of glue, and I'm going to work right here in this mess and see what I can use out of here. And hopefully soon you'll be seeing these complete. This table is not sorted. I could spend an hour sorting the table, but I would mess it up again in 3 minutes. So now I'm just going to sit down, clear a spot right here. Oh, look, here's some more that I already knew which journal I wanted them in, so I had them set out. And I'll work with these items. I thought the camera was rolling, but it wasn't. I took the fabric and experimented with different pieces of ephemera on it, and then I glued the parts together and I stitched the charm. Would you call it a charm? I don't know. The metal framed thing on there also. I glued all the parts together against the table because glue would soak through the fabric and each spot would have glued to the page. And the only part I wanted actually attached to the page was the very top border. So you can see I got a little carried away with the Fabri-Tac, so I had to clean it up a bit. It left unsupervised, that journal would have glued itself shut. So just be careful and prop them open if you need to wander away and reheat your coffee or do something. Sometimes I just take a break because I get too many pages with glue on them and I'm trying to space them out and I don't want to close it up all the way. Now I'm looking around to see what could I use with the embossed orange paper that has the hummingbirds on it. Just trying to use up those things that were in my, I definitely want to use them. I just wasn't feeling it. I thought it was going to go in this journal because of the orangey, earthy tone cover and stuff, but I just wasn't feeling it in that journal. So in the end, I just took it and said, okay, and I put it in the third journal. The third journal has the most color variety of all. I tried a bunch of different pages and then I said, okay, it's going to go in here. We'll figure that out later. And that's sort of how I've been doing it. The first one was blue, the second one was more earth tone, and the third one got whatever was left. In fact, I really like how the third one turned out because it has so much different color in it, a lot of interest. Here, I'm just putting glue across the bottom so that it's a tuck spot, and then I sewed a piece of ephemera on the front so it has a built-in tuck spot. You don't have to use every tuck spot in a journal or every pocket. You can just leave some of them and have them be cute things, but it's nice to have them. I like to give the person the option so that they could tuck in a whole bunch of their stuff if they want. Then every once in a while I'm putting the lid on the glue just because I'm having troubles with it. I left twice today and didn't seal it up. I'm using one of those labels and I thought I might stamp on it. So I wandered around and looked. I could not find in my stash just a tiny little stamp that says joy. I'm sure it's in one of my stamp sets. I got sidetracked and moved on. And I'm digging through the die cut birds that I have because that bird, the parts come out and I wanted it covered up. So I found a different color gold center, but I didn't want an iridescent gold bird. I'm having a little bit of trouble with my hand, so the glue stick is tricky. Some of the pieces I'm putting glue stick on the back of because they're really thin and I'm gluing to origami paper. Even art glitter glue causes some rippling and buckling if you glue origami paper. So that's why you'll see me using the glue stick sometimes. I didn't want to get out the gel matte medium and make a mess and wait for that and clean up after it. So I'm trying the glue stick. Don't buy that brand just because I have it. I got it at Dollar Tree and it was made in the US. And it's Avery, something I've heard of. I hope it actually glues things on. This is a close-up of that bird. So the bird, the body is just like a basic gold mirror cardstock. And then the center that I glued in, like the belly of it, is bulletin board border. So it's iridescent and really crazy. So it's two-tone gold, but I kind of like it. It was just fun. I wanted something on the back of that origami paper just to stabilize it a little. I couldn't figure out what was going to go under there. But it couldn't be too heavy because that's really, really dainty paper. This thing kept hanging down and I was struggling with it a little, the fabric. So then I came back. The fabric had birds on it and was that width. I would have ideally liked it a little bit wider. Gail Agostinelli does a lot of fabric. I don't know what she calls them, but tip up and then you can put paper and stuff underneath them like a little hidden spot in your journal. And that was where I got the idea, but that fabric came to me that way. So that's how wide it was. And I think it's fine. It was just heavy. It actually got better when I trimmed it up because it wasn't so floppy. I'm going through my 6x6 papers and looking at what do I have in there? What could I use for pockets? Those cream colored papers are like a notebook planner stuff that Tony found in her house from years ago. And I took some of them. And then I think one of you gave me the Bluebird stationery with these envelopes and the paper. And it is just amazing for this. I can't remember where it came from, so my apologies. Then I'm experimenting in the envelope. I wanted to put something in that envelope, but I still wanted the Bluebird to show, so I was struggling. I used the pinking shears on this weird flap of paper and then just left it. It could easily be trimmed off later, but I just wasn't sure. Then there's a 6x6 and it's adorable, and both sides have little bird accents. So I took the side that had it on the right so it would stick out of the pocket, and then rounded the corners. And then I'm looting that little bag that had cute stuff in it and putting it into the bag that's actually in the middle of this journal. This one's cute too. It has some stitching. This just lets you see my process and how I work through, and flipping around and looking. I don't go start to finish. It would be much easier if I did, but that's not really how I work. I'm looking for pages that things fit in, where I like the colors. That page was too much for me. It was too busy. So I toned it down with that cream colored paper. Some of these I'm leaving because the user is going to want to make it their own. So I don't want every single page all decorated so that you couldn't paste something in or you couldn't write on the page if you wanted to. Look at that. My friend Noni made these die-cut birds, and I'm just gluing it on the page, and it is cute as can be. I love it with those white polka dots. It really pops on that page. And some of my pages are super thin, 20-pound paper, and others are really nice cardstock. So I try to feel the pages and put the heavier ephemera on the sturdier pages. So that's part of what I'm doing too. Just because the color matches perfectly doesn't mean that every item will work on every page. You can't put a big hanging piece of fabric on a 20-pound printer paper page. I was trying to decide whether I wanted to glue that down or not. I think if it was going to be my journal, I would glue it down, but I couldn't decide, so I just left it. Then I went back and forth on this front section. The brown layer is a little bit poofy, I think is the word, and I was trying to find different ephemera pieces earlier to put on it, and I could not decide on one. So I'm going to go with the owl. I don't know if the inside is too dark. I know we had some jokes because I glued the inside cover paper upside down, and I still have some of those plastic, what do we call them, like transparency pockets. So I could use one of those for the cover. And then, like we talked about, people could either enjoy the beautiful upside down paper or they could see it. But I usually staple those, and I don't know if Fabri-Tac will hold them. I don't have E6000, which I know a lot of you use. I don't know, honestly, if art glitter glue would hold that plastic transparency inside it. I think this came from Heather in Happy Mail. Somebody Happy Mailed it to me, and it had a bunch of cute die cuts on the inside. And I thought it was just so cute. It's blue and silver plaid, or gold plaid, so I never let it get away. It was, I think, a tri-fold. And I thought, well, it's a little thick for a journal, so I took out one layer. And then I'm just experimenting. I thought I was going to put it in the blue journal, so it's a lot lighter on the inside than I would have left it had I known I was going to put it in this one. The post-it in the front is to remind me to come back to that, because I took off the flower, but I still haven't decided about the owl in the front. Okay, if this was going to be my journal, I think I would glue that bird right on there. But it's such a gorgeous cover, I'm stuck. So I haven't decided. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that bird in a pocket in this journal. Then if somebody wants to glue it on the cover, they can. In general, I have a tendency to stop too soon on projects because I like them the way they are, and I'm worried I'm going to mess it up. And that might be what I'm doing on this cover, but I don't know. This might be my favorite journal cover ever. I love how it feels. I love the stitching on it. That bird is from a stamp set that I have, but for some reason haven't used on this journal, and it was already stamped out somewhere. So there's the bird that I would put on the cover. And that's how I'm going to leave that one and set it aside and pull out the blue one. The blue one, those blue items were just things I had set aside and thought, oh, those should go in the other one. It's not that the whole journal is blue. It's that it has more blue. It has the blue cover. If there were two ephemera pieces that were similar, I put the one that had more blue in this one all the time. Remember in the beginning, I thought I was only going to make two, but I just ended up with so much stuff. Then I found that envelope and decided to glue it in. I think I paper clipped it one day because I was in a hurry or my hand hurt. I don't know what I was doing. It has a cute little bird card in it. And there's no right or wrong. You can glue stuff on, you can paper clip it, you can glue it sideways, you can glue it on the top. There are lots of things that I usually do in journals that I didn't do at all. I don't think I have any corner diagonal type pockets. Maybe I should just shove one in here or there. I didn't glue, like, see that pink piece? Right now, it's still not glued down. Haven't decided if it's going to be a pocket, if it's going to be a flip, or who knows, maybe it'll just get cut or torn off. Some pages are just decorated to the hilt and then some are plain. And I think that makes it fun. You have all those points of inspiration. I really like that one too. I just can't keep all the journals that I love. So for this one, I don't ever see that bird going on the cover. That wasn't how I envisioned it at all. And I only had 2 of those. They were, I think, wallpaper. And I got them at the store in Olympia, Lost and Found Crafts. And I was just super excited about it. And then I'm just going to glue it down. And I'm having deja vu, but I think that's because I edited this. I don't think you guys have seen me do that before. Look, it looks kind of cool. I didn't make a pocket. I didn't layer it with anything else. I just said, put the bird on the page. So I've been creating and working on these journals and filling them up. And how do I know when I'm done? I don't think I'm done yet, but I'll tell you how I figure it out. This bin is empty now. This is the one that had the ready to go in the journals. The box that had use it for sure is gone. This bin is stuff that is good and could be used. Same here. That's what these are, but doesn't have to be. I think I cut a bird out of this napkin, or I might have gotten sidetracked. So it goes over there in that pile, and I have stamps. And you notice that the table itself, you can see a lot more of it than you could before. And a lot of what you have on the table now showing and taking up space are tools. So I could put those away. I have a couple items that I just found and thought, oh, I'd like to use those. And the little puffy stickers, I've been adding little details. I haven't used this. I'll flip through the journals some more. And then before I film the final flip through videos of the journals, I've realized I need to clean up. If I take these and do my final flips, as I clean this table off, I'm going to find, oh, I better add that and I better add that. It's not a science. I don't have 12 of each thing in this and 2 horizontal pockets and 3 tuck spots. I don't know. It's always different for me. And if I'm making a group of items, it has a lot to do with what's on the table. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that these videos about making these 3 bird journals have been helpful and you got some inspiration. If nothing else, you saw how not to do it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.